All right. Third Wheel Podcast. Welcome back. I'm Caleb.
I'm Shubs.
This is our first time here at Gold Stag Media. I've been
Yeah.
told to say it just like that.
Gold stat.
I feel this is like really nice for like the way I dress, though.
Mhm.
Honestly, like I
And the
feel
way you
really
act.
shabby.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a fatter, whiter, less funnier Shannon Sharp. Like
That is so accurate.
do you ever watch his stuff though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, well, not anymore since all that controversy stuff came out, but yeah, this feels just like that. So
Mhm.
I'm really glad we got one without the windows, but it's really nice. It's really cool. It's way nicer than I really thought I'd ever shoot.
The
So
golden opportunity, some may say.
that is your first time ever looking at the camera too,
I know.
because you don't
Oh,
like being on camera.
no,
So
still don't
I'm
like
actually
it.
really excited. Yeah. How do you actually feel? Do you feel like super?
I feel fine because I've been in front of the camera a lot before, just not on this show. This was my one domain,
Yeah.
and now it's gone.
It's gone, taken from you.
It's all good.
So I'm excited. I had a great weekend. How was your Labor Day though?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, I went to a concert,
What-
Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace.
I feel like that's the only concert you ever go to though.
What do you?
It's
I've
always
never,
Breaking Benjamin.
I've never been to
I don't
them.
believe you. You've gone like the past 5 times.
First of all, they haven't had 5 concerts recently, and that's the first time I've ever seen them.
Okay. I don't believe you, but that's fine. I could pull up
Do I
your
need to
seats,
pull?
but
Yeah, do I need to pull
we
up
don't wanna be
Ticketmaster
on our
for you?
phones the whole time. You know, that's rude. Okay, we're in a
Yeah,
professional work environment.
exactly.
But so this weekend I went back up to my old college town.
Mhm,
I used to work at the prison, so we're in Texas.
mhm.
I used to work at the prison in downtown Huntsville. That's where
Yeah,
they do the actual executions. Oopsie.
sure.
Um, So a long time ago when I worked there, I was 19 years old,
Mhm.
and they have this rule that when you go to the prison, if you're a civilian, you're actually not allowed to stand on that sidewalk
Right outside the
that's
prison?
right outside the prison. So
Okay.
like if you're next to the wall,
Interesting.
yeah. So whenever civilians would come across and start looking, the
Mm,
pickets, which is like a big tower where you're like watching the wall, making sure nobody jumps over and escapes,
yeah.
the picket bosses or officers will start yelling at you to go across the street.
Okay.
And for a long time, nobody contested that
Mm,
until like 8 years ago, this guy was like, this is a public street. So what he did was he grabbed a camera and he grabbed his girlfriend who also had a backup camera in
mhm.
case the officers just wanted to start beating him up or something, which we weren't going to do. But he just stood on the sidewalk and was just recording. And of course, everyone's yelling at, hey, you got to go across the street. And he's just ignoring them. He's like, nope, it's not the law. It's
Mm,
a public street. I pay taxes here.
right.
And I'm not kidding you. Like all the wardens, the assistant wardens, captains, sergeants, lieutenants, like just were
The whole
lining up.
army.
Yeah, they were all standing out there trying to look tough and stare him down. And he's just like, I'm not going
So,
anywhere.
like, when all of them are out there, what are the inmates doing? Is it yard time? And
No,
they're
that's
just
where we come in, the lowest bottom of the
Ah,
food chain. We're watching them.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but good question.
Cannon
Yeah,
fodder.
but all our supervision was out there
All your
staring this guy
bosses are
down. Yeah,
just
and so then they're like, okay, we're gonna call Huntsville PD,
nice.
right? And so they called Huntsville PD, and the police comes up and like talked to all not the chiefs, wardens, and
Mhm.
all them, and talked to them, and then the officer came over to the guy with the camera, and the
Yeah.
officer's on camera. He's like, hey, you're in an okay spot, like you're not breaking any laws. It's a public, and like keep in mind
Mm,
on the side of the street with the prison,
yeah.
there's like historical landmarkers which are made for people to come up and read them. Like
Really?
yeah, oh yeah. So it's like really, really dumb. So the police is like, hey, you're good to go. And so then the guy with the camera's like, see, yeah, I paid taxes here. You all got educated today. And then the biggest walk of shame,
Oh
like
my gosh,
everybody just
dude.
walking back in. Half of them were supposed to be off and just go home, but they
Right.
all got caught up in that mess. So me and Maddie,
Wow.
my wife, we go up to the prison and we're just looking at it. And then, she's like, are we supposed to be here? I showed her the video beforehand. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, we got this. So I go up to the landmark, and the first thing I noticed was I didn't recognize anybody working.
Sure.
Like people walking in to
We
start the
always
next
said it was a
shift.
big turnover rate,
It
right?
was, but
Yeah.
like there was like at least a few key
Mhm.
dozen people that they've been there for 20 plus years and they were going to
Sure.
always be there. Granted, they were old, so they probably either moved on or just died. I don't know. But I didn't recognize anybody. So the
Mhm.
lady yelling at us from the picket, I was like, who are you? Like I didn't recognize her. So she's like, yeah, you gotta go across the street. I was like, nope, I'm good. All the confidence in the world
Wow.
because I knew like
Yeah.
it's just one. And so then we're reading the historical landmarker while she's yelling. And I was like, it's a public street. I'm not crossing. And then she's like, have a good day. I was like, I will. So then we walk up to the front door, and like, I was like, I'm gonna push a little bit further. There's
Oh
people
boy.
standing there. I was like, Maddie, take a picture of me. And I take a picture in front of the prison, like in front of the sign.
Wow.
And then they have a mobile patrol, so like a officer in a car that drives
Mm,
around the unit. The lady's yelling like, "Hey, tell them to go across." He's like, "They're fine," and he
mm,
just keeps driving.
yeah,
And I was like, "That's what I
he knows
thought."
better.
I was so happy, yeah. And then we actually took a walk around it because I was like, it's again public.
Fair.
Like the college is right up the street,
Yeah.
Sam Houston State, where I went to college, right up there. So I was just like, let's take a walk. And I
Yeah.
showed her like this is the big gate, where it opens. They bring in the van or the bus with inmates, and then all that kind of stuff. We're just going around. It was really what's the word? I guess nostalgic. I hated working there. It
Mm,
was horrible working there.
yeah.
Prison, like no air conditioning. It was awful conditions for officers, like inmates. Like yeah, it was. It's bad enough being behind bars, but even just working there, bro,
Fair.
you're still pretty miserable.
Yeah.
So but it was nostalgic. I still tried to think of it as like it was a good part of my past, and it was pretty cool.
Cool.
We also went to the prison museum, and they got some really cool stuff. So they have a whole section of the wall
Mm,
dedicated to famous people that got locked up into Texas prison. So there's
okay.
like Dog the Bounty Hunter, obviously Bonnie and Clyde,
Right.
and a bunch of other people actually that you wouldn't have thought. I took a picture, but I don't feel like rifling through my phone.
Sure.
And but I was like, yeah, like really cool. I think that could be a podcast topic of its own at some point.
Mm,
So
okay. So
really
like
cool
in the
experience.
restaurant you go to, has like famous people who went here. These are famous people that
Went to prison. And like prison, not jail. Like anyone can get locked up for jail.
yeah,
If you
sure.
argue about a ticket with the police and they arrest you, you're going to jail.
Mm,
Prison is you're convicted and you're going to spend some time behind bars, and it's usually a pretty long, decent chunk of your life.
mm.
So Dog the Bounty Hunter was surprising. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I did not see that coming. I didn't know he actually was in a Texas prison. So pretty crazy.
I forgot what he went to prison for.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and research it. I think that's a good
They
podcast
actually send a
topic of it.
bounty hunter after him.
Probably not. He looked pretty rough too. I was like,
I
damn.
bet.
But I bet, in prison he probably like built all his muscle up, and he's like, this is where I'm gonna do what was done to me and just go grab people and drag them to court.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. They also had like the testimony of people that were right before they were gonna be executed, they'd take down their last words and they put
Mm,
that on the wall too. And I was like, that's pretty cool. My favorite one is just in captions shouted profanity. And I was like, yes. He went out like a champ.
nice.
The other ones were pretty generic. It's like, I'm sorry for all the hurt I did. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm about to go to heaven, stuff like that. Like, good for them.
Mm,
And then some of them, there was one where a guy was like, I didn't do it. Y'all are killing an innocent man. And I was
oh,
like, that's pretty interesting.
that's
So,
rough.
hmm so it was a good experience. They had all the stuff like, here's what a shank looks like. Here's what contraband looks like. My favorite stuff is what they used to gamble with. Like they'll make
Mm.
their own dice. They'll make their own
What
cards.
would they play?
Dude, I'm not even messing with you. They made their own Monopoly board. Like they
Really?
have it behind behind glass.
That's
And
awesome.
I've seen plenty in my time. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're not supposed to have it, and I'm supposed to take it. But I was like, dude, this is really impressive. They got the community chest cards, and I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, I'm not taking that. I was like, but you can't have it out here, so you got to put it away. And they're like, all right,
Gotcha.
that's cool. And I was like, sweet. So
Dang.
Monopoly boards are actually pretty
What are the
impressive.
real ones? How
Yeah,
about that?
that was pretty sick. And then what was the other thing? They have a craft shop in prison, which is really cool. So they get to make like couches or wooden stuff,
Mm.
really cool stuff. And there was one rocking seahorse made of wood,
Mm.
not seahorse, rocking horse made of wood.
You think it's
And
SpongeBob there?
yeah, sorry, the wires get crossed
It's
plenty
okay.
of times.
It happens.
And it was really like really nice. And he donated it to the museum because he got out. He got out of prison.
That's cool.
And then apparently, like 5 years after, he got arrested and convicted again and got sent back to prison. So the museum was like, hey, do you want to finish this and then donate it right back?
Oh,
And he's
wow.
like, sure. And so then in the exhibit, it says he got out in 2017, so he couldn't finish it, but then was rearrested in 2019 and finished it for the museum. I was
That
like, cool.
is
Yeah.
magic still exists.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There is still good in this world. I mean, I don't know what he
Humanity
did. He probably
restored.
did something really bad.
Horrible. He shanked someone
So-
with all the wood that he was whittling with.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
it
a
was
fun story.
it was a good walk down memory lane, and then
Yeah.
I felt so empowered telling that
Oh,
that
bet.
pickup officer to
bet.
like
Did
go,
you
go
now?
bite one.
Yeah, you want to make a T-shirt of that exact moment?
No, no. Anytime I try to make a T-shirt, it looks like crap.
Fair.
So like we have one with our podcast logo, and it was an old logo, but for some reason it was such a weird poorly made thing around our symbol.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you could tell it was kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And it had like a black outline around the symbol. It was weird. I was like, I don't know how they
Sure.
messed this up, but
Unfortunate.
if we ever do merch, we do need to like test out their product and see like who's actually good and
Yeah,
who
we'll
actually
do.
cares.
Should we do like a snack or something? Not like lunch leaves or something like that. I'm talking about like pink sauce. Should we like
No.
it's like yellow and black in the center. Oh gosh, that's
What
making me
is it?
sick.
Well, yeah,
Like
that sounds
a like
horrible.
sauce for like a burger or something, like burger sauce.
I mean, if you
Perfect.
really want, I'll do it for you. We got. I am trying to explain to our horizons of like what we're trying to work on.
I got it.
So
Ice cream.
please stop.
It's
I think you keep going down this hole.
Stop me. Pull me
Yeah,
out.
I am. Stop, please. I'm begging you.
All right. Well, what do you want to talk about then?
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, we have a time limit. So therefore, today, you know how much we love talking about Disney.
Oh yeah.
But let me find this article.
They're our best customer.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know what I found out though?
Mm.
Side note, the guy that so you know the guy from Ned's Declassified? I
Yeah.
forget his name,
Mhm.
but he has a podcast where he
Yeah.
talks about every episode of the show.
Is it called Classified?
Probably,
Mhm.
it's something just like that.
Fair.
It might actually be called. I'm not gonna bother because I don't know.
Sure.
But my wife was telling me about this. So she watched a few episodes and she read like the story leading up to him making that podcast. And he couldn't find work after Ned's Declassified. And, that sucks, but that happens to a lot of child actors. Like, he was the star of that show.
Mhm.
And, I would have thought, even just in Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
we can just, the sky's the limit. I was the star of a show for however many years it was on.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm gonna have all this work lined up. And then he couldn't find anything
Sure.
for a long time. And he finally had his big break. He got cast in a Western movie, and you
Mhm.
might have heard of it. And he was like, I'm finally gonna get back on, and things are about to start working out. And it was Rust.
Yes, Rust.
And
That's
of course,
unfortunate.
Alec Baldwin had to shoot somebody on set and ruin the whole production. So he's like, I cannot catch a break.
That
so
is
then,
so unfortunate. I had no idea.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That is so sad.
And so I was like, dude, I'd have just given up. But
let's make a petition to get that film released.
no. Yeah, so then he ended up just kind of doing what we're doing, and which is great. I love what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a really crazy story. And
Wow.
we've been making fun of Russ for like 3 years. And yeah,
That's awesome.
We've been crapping on his life the whole time. I had no idea.
Heck
So,
yeah.
pretty
Well,
cool.
you know what? We'll have him on one time and we can all talk about Rust together.
I would love that. But let me see. What's that article?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lay some Disney facts on me.
You remember the Eternals? No.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
The movie nobody saw
Yeah.
off of Disney Plus. This is back. Okay, I wanted to talk about this actually a while ago. So Kevin Feige hopped on an interview,
Yeah.
and they were asking him. He was talking about, we're going to focus on quality over quantity, which is what people have been saying for a long time.
Right.
Like we got the absolute duds, like She-Hulk. What else? I can't remember all of them because they were pretty mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was pretty disappointing. WandaVision is pretty good at best. Like they were like fine, So he's like,
yeah, I think that's the only one anyone actually like. Most people, I think, watched WandaVision, and turns out you had to watch that to get the next Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah,
which I
And
love
then
that.
Loki was also really freaking
That's true.
good.
Loki
Yeah.
is the only one that like stands by its own, I think.
And then like and then like all the other ones were just like, why do these exist?
Yeah.
So anyway, he's talking about quality over quantity, and he said something that really was weird because he was like, yeah, we were just like pumping out whatever we could, because to keep up with the streaming wars is what he was saying, and it was like a time in my life, or I'm sorry, time in this company's history when we were trying to keep up with the streaming wars, and I was like, what streaming wars? Like the wars you started?
Yeah, who else is competing with them?
Nobody.
Are they talking about like Max and HBO Max now and like Netflix and
I
stuff?
don't
Or are they
wanna
talking
we
about?
can talk about that too. HBO Max and then back to
I don't
HBO.
want to. They don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, talk about logo reshuffling. Like, forget Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
the
sure.
real crime
That's old
is
news
Max.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, did we all just ignore that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
Unbelievable.
but yeah, so I was like, the streaming wars. I was like, if you remember back when they did Daredevil, they were teaming up with Netflix, and it was like apparently the whole time during Netflix, Kevin Feige or whoever producers were like standing up behind everyone on Netflix and be like, oh yes, I like these numbers. We're we're gonna end up stealing this idea for a streaming service, you know. And so he was talking about the streaming wars. I was like, nobody was fighting. It was like
Yeah.
literally
Like
y'all were
DC
the ones.
wasn't. There was
Yeah,
no
yeah.
superhero competition. What, The
Mm-mm.
Boys with Amazon? But like that
Right.
was I think that was after all that.
I think
So
Prime Video has been around forever,
yeah.
or a long time at least.
Mhm.
So I was like, I don't know. They lost a lot of money on Disney Plus, and I mean, everyone's been saying on the internet it's their fault, absolutely.
Mhm.
But I was shocked at how he framed it as like, the streaming wars. I was like, there was no streaming wars. Like y'all tried to copy Netflix, which
Mhm.
is essentially what every streaming service is. I mean, maybe there was one before Netflix or whatever, or maybe some came out around the same
Not with
time.
that model, and yeah, that's
Exactly.
the one that everyone that's the money maker,
Exactly,
so
and everyone started to copy
mhm.
them. I understand, like, why places like Hulu did it
Yeah.
or Amazon, like, it makes sense, like,
Mhm.
you can it makes sense, and then, of course, Disney Plus comes out of nowhere, and it's
Mhm.
just like, streaming
And
wars,
they undercut everyone because it was, like,
were so cheap.
half the price of
Mhm.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Now probably not so much, but that was their game plan.
You know what else I don't get is why unrelated well, not so unrelated,
Mhm.
but why do they cut stuff from Disney Plus? Like, why did they take movies and cartoons and stuff off of Disney Plus? Because if they own it, why not just keep it on there? Why have shows that disappear at all?
Licensing is a weird world, dude.
Mm,
Like, I can try to get my best answer, but I'm not a lawyer, and that's honestly, like, the answer for everything, right? It's like, there's loopholes, there's expiration dates for everything,
yeah,
so I have no idea. I feel like their first party products, they get to keep as long as they want,
yeah.
but, like, anything that has, like, I don't know. Just because it was on their channel I don't think necessarily means that they have like complete rights over it. That's the thing. Rights and ownership are technically two different things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something
Yeah,
into
and
that.
and a lot of people, I guess, back in the day in their
Mhm.
contracts, like even actors are like, "Oh, I get a cut of this every time it's seen or clicked on or
Exactly.
whatever." And
Yeah.
so
So
it's
we
like,
don't know. I mean,
let's
you don't
take
have
it
no,
off.
and like
Yeah,
maybe they
that
have to
makes
get with the
sense.
creator every time that they want to stream it again or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
play my best guess. But yeah, it's still a killer platform. I would say like Disney Plus, like is in every household, almost every household,
Hmm.
even more so than the other streaming platforms. But
But it sounds like a lot of people have it, just don't use it.
yeah,
So
which
that,
is like
yeah.
Netflix. That's what Netflix was for a long time because it was the only one that you had, and then, like, everyone complained that there was nothing to watch. You spend more time what is it? I say it with me, everyone. You spend more time looking for something to watch than you actually
Hmm.
just watch something, right?
Yeah.
So Disney Plus kinda has the same problem, I think. Even though it has everything you could possibly want, it's still like,
I
I've
feel like
seen
I
it
only
all.
I feel like I only ever log into Disney Plus if I know what I want to watch. Like
Sure.
I want to watch Thunderbolts again, or what was one that just came out, Fantastic Four. I might want to watch that again. I might just fast forward to all the Galactus clips, but
Yeah. I mean, YouTube does that too, but
yeah.
sure.
So I don't know. A lot, yeah. But Netflix, I don't know. It's still the top streaming service, I'd say, as far as
Mhm.
numbers go.
You sure?
Um,
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Like
Wow.
it's still high up there. I mean, they're still wasting millions and hundreds of millions of dollars on what is it, Electric State or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
they have money.
Mhm.
I don't know where it's coming
Where's the
from.
sequel? That's what I'm wondering.
That's not coming. That's a waste. If they do, though, we have a lot to talk about.
Fair.
But anyway, so the streaming wars, I was like, I don't know. Everyone and their mom started a streaming service
Mm.
too. Like, and look, I'm one to talk. Everyone has a podcast. I get it, and it's so easy to
No,
do.
we were the first
The
ones,
only,
to
the
put a
third.
wheel on it.
Why don't we bring the big wheel for the studio though?
Oh, good
He probably
idea.
wouldn't have allowed that. He would have been like, "This lamp's too fragile for it."
Yes. Oh, yeah, well, our wheel is too fragile for you.
It would have fit actually really perfectly.
Right there in the corner.
It's like a captain's cabin.
Yeah, we'll just take this spot
Yeah. Yeah.
permanently.
Bye guys. But so anyway, the Eternals.
Yeah,
Okay, the actor Kumal Nanjiani.
yeah. I can never
Uh,
remember his name, but I know who he is.
yeah, he's a comedian,
Yeah.
and he was in the Eternals. And apparently, so the article starts off: the flop of Eternals didn't just bomb at the box office; it also wrecked 10 years of plans for the characters and the future of the MCU.
Yeah, because 'cause where'd they go?
Well, so I guess the Eternals was supposed to be the new Avengers type movie that
Hmm,
was supposed to. I don't know if each character was going to get their own spin-off film, but every character was like a really famous person that could have had its own spin-off, and I think
mhm.
that's what they were going for because you're talking about 10 years worth of stuff.
It's a new franchise.
And Loki actually was supposed to have him in it, or at least a part of it, or
Mhm.
reference him. He was supposed to make a cameo or something in it, and they cut it out. So I was, so 10 years. He signed on for like 6 films after the Eternals,
Mhm.
and then of course he says in the article as well. He also signed up. away his likeness for a theme park ride at Disney World.
What?
Yeah, and then, they had these big plans, like, huge. Yeah, like, do you understand what it means to get your own ride at Disney World?
Yeah,
Like, they only put, like, timeless classics, really, so Snow
that's
White has a ride, the 7 Dwarfs have a ride.
the new Snow
No,
White.
no,
Can
they
we
they
get
want you to forget about
can we
that.
get Ziegler her own ride, please?
She No, I'm not gonna say anything. You're trying to bait me.
I know
We're
what
on
you're
a
about to say
profession,
too.
yeah. Yeah, anyway,
The underbite.
stop.
All
Anyway,
right.
so, yeah, okay, theme park rides at Disney World are super, planned out,
Yeah.
carefully organized, and it has to hold up over time. So, like, the
Sure.
Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster has been there for a very long time,
Mhm.
and it's gotta be something, like, every time you go, it's like, "Oh, I love coming to this ride." So, Eternals, they really anticipated everyone was gonna eat it up,
Oh
everyone
yeah.
was gonna watch all the spin-off projects. They put Blade in it, they got, Kit Harington from Game of Thrones was in it.
Mhm.
He was gonna have his own movie later. So the movie comes out and nobody watched it.
Right.
Now it came out now you brought up marketing. It was actually marketed really bad,
Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the trailer was trying to show me.
Mhm.
Two, it was a pretty mediocre film from what I gather. I
Yeah.
didn't quite watch it myself, but nobody did. That was the thing. So it made no money. And the guy was saying, like, he just went into depression after that because when back in the day, when he first signed on for Marvel, like, he talked to Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, if you signed on a contract, you were set for, like, 10 years,
Yeah.
10 plus
Oh
years,
yeah.
because Chris Evans is still showing up in MCU
Every
movies,
once in a while. Yep. Mhm.
and Robert Downey Jr. is now supposed to be Thanos, essentially. He's Doctor Doom. Like, so you think you're set for a long time. Like, hey, I made it, and
Mhm.
then your first movie just tanks. And
Mhm.
it started making me think about like everyone who signed on with the Dark Universe, who signed on with the DC, everyone who was like, okay, cool, Batman v Superman's coming out. This is my big, and then it flops, and then they just pivot, and so it just kind of ruins
I
your
wonder if
whole
they have to
career.
pay out a substantial, almost like a severance to those actors because it's like, okay, you plot out 10 years, you're
Hmm.
turning down everything
Yeah.
else. If it's going to be this big of a franchise, for the most part, you have to block out a certain amount of time in order to work with them on that. So they can't accept projects. So honestly, I could see them being like, well, I'm owed 5
Yeah.
million. I'm owed
Hmm.
10 million.
That kinda
Like,
happened with Scarlett Johansson
right.
because she signed in her contract, she actually got, like, a
Mhm.
percentage of the box office.
Yeah.
So, whenever they decided, "Oh, we're just not gonna release it in theaters, we're gonna put it on Disney Plus," that's why she was suing,
Right.
was because she was like, "Well, y'all screwed me out of box office numbers,"
Mhm.
even though it probably wouldn't have done that well, but it could have, though. I mean, as far as I know, it
No.
did okay on Disney Plus, but there's no box office,
No,
so
they're going to fight for the money they could have made.
she got screwed
Yeah.
on that. So, but with him, though, um I don't know because I feel like at this point Disney has ironed out their contracts to where
Mm.
it's like if it does well, you're signed on for this amount of time or whatever.
Mm.
So, and Eternals is so weird to me because it actually came out during the superhero hype phase. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know COVID kind of sped up the process of killing franchises and
Mhm.
people weren't going to the movies back then. But it came out at a time where I would have thought the movie would have made money no matter what.
Sure.
But maybe that had to do with, like you said, the marketing.
Yeah. I bet.
So pretty interesting stuff. 10 years, like, can you imagine? I don't know. You have your whole thing planned around one movie, and you're like,
Mm.
"This is it. This is the big one,"
Yeah.
and then just nothing. We did a video like a couple weeks ago where I was like, "This is gonna be a big one. This is gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
huge." Like, and then it was like 13 views. I was like,
Mhm.
"Dang it!" this
10
did,
years. Our
yeah,
ride.
that
Our theme
yeah.
park.
How am I supposed to feed my family?
Well,
So
speaking of, not to pivot too much, but marketing. Okay, I have a pitch for you. So Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey, that whole thing. That's fun, right? Would it not
fun for
be
who?
the most viewed television event if they had their wedding at the Super Bowl? So Chiefs goes to Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl, and they have their wedding at the Super Bowl.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be the biggest.
I can't see it other. They can have their private wedding elsewhere, but like publicly, dude, I can't see it going any other way.
I mean, like the halftime show.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
she's
it.
gonna do the halftime show.
Yeah, but that is the halftime
No,
show.
no,
Like
no.
everybody's
Wedding's at the end because who cares about the football?
the Super Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah, just
nobody
get that
cares
out of
about
here.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No. So halftime show, she's gonna sing, and Travis Kelsey will be probably like they're gonna reenact their proposal. I could say, dude, it's gonna make $1 billion overnight.
Oh,
overnight,
absolutely. Like we're talking not just
overnight.
sold out, but like all the
Mhm.
Swifties that couldn't get in are like camped outside and watching on
There
their
will be
phones.
deaths.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like it's well known that Taylor Swift, whenever she travels to a small town venue, like
Mhm.
the town just like expands into a major city. Some
Like
people
Monopoly,
just
just
yeah, yeah. Like people just like go there and then just buy a house
Uh-huh.
for that event.
It's a
so,
yeah, fair
so I was
enough.
like, but let me see. Oh shoot, we're coming up on our time actually.
Okay,
I don't know. How are we looking on time, guys?
5 minutes.
Okay. Let's see. Um, Travis Kelsey. I already thought they were engaged. I didn't know that they weren't.
Like, privately or
No, I thought
oh,
I must
gotcha.
have fallen for a fake Facebook article. Like
Uh,
I'm usually pretty good at seeing through those, but that
mhm.
one I cared so little that when I saw the title, I
Careful,
was
Caleb. This could be our big moment. This is the video
I,
that
I
everyone's gonna
would be
watch. Of
okay with
course, it's
that.
gonna be the video that everyone
Yeah,
watches.
bad publicity is good, publicity. Good
That's
publicity. So
that's fair.
I think personally.
Okay.
But yeah, I cared so little that I didn't bother fact checking it, because like you'll see the fake The Office is coming back to TV in October
It is.
and it's like the most photoshopped photo of Jim
Uh-huh.
on some random guy's body holding
Oh,
a
that's
mug.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm not, come on.
There is a reboot, though.
Yeah, The
Yeah, yeah,
Paper.
yeah.
I haven't seen it
Mhm.
yet.
I
Have you,
haven't seen it
are you
either.
gonna watch it?
No.
No. You don't have Peacock, do you?
No, I do.
Yeah, it's free, isn't it?
I think so.
It is,
Maybe
yeah.
I'll watch the
You
first
gotta watch so
episode,
many ads though on
but it
Peacock.
is not like a, "Oh, man, I've been waiting for this." I feel like I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of faith in it, but we'll see where it goes. I think it has the original writers on it.
Okay, well, that does give me hope. The trailers didn't wow me,
I
though.
didn't even see the trailers. I don't
Yeah,
even know what it looks like.
it's got, spoilers. It's got Oscar
Yeah.
from The Office in it, and he's like, "Oh god, not again." So,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Here we
it
go
could be
again.
funny, but, like, the first season of The Office took a while to kinda figure out what the show wanted to be, and
It's just
even
that
Parks and Rec took some time
that
to
show though, I mean, those both shows, but mostly The Office, like, they thrived on, like, the things you can't say on TV, right?
Mhm.
Not, like, to an outrageous amount, but it's like, "Oh my gosh, you can't even say that," but it also, like, did such a good job of just, like, relating to every single person who watches. Like, I don't know, lightning in a bottle, I think. I don't know if it would have
Yeah.
worked in this generation, but
No. I don't know, cause it's watched and reran so many times, and
mhm.
nobody gets offended. Like,
Yeah, maybe
take
because it's a classic,
take the
but
show Community, like, have you
mhm.
seen Community?
Yeah, I
That
actually
but
don't like it, but
really?
mhm.
Okay.
But still, keep going.
We're out of time, stop. You can't open these can of worms right now. Um, so, basically, there's an episode where they all play D&D,
Mhm,
and, what's the Asian guy's name in real life? Anyway, his character shows up painting himself as a dark elf,
mm.
and it's like, "Well, we can't do that because that's blackface," so they took the episode down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's back on, but it was off for years, like, they
Oh,
just took that episode off, and that's the only episode I wanted to watch because they had D&D,
uh,
I was, so, anyway, so I don't know, nobody gets offended at The Office reruns or anything,
mhm.
so I was just kinda thinking, like, maybe not. Now, in hindsight, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, wow, Michael Scott would've been fired for that, like, you can't just grab a guy and kiss him in the office, you
Cannot.
know? But, anyway, The Paper could be good. It has potential.
Mhm.
I think the first season will be fine, and then hopefully it kinda picks up
Yeah.
and kinda, like, just figures out what it wants to be. Because I think the best thing it can do is separate itself from The Office
Mhm.
and become its own thing,
Sure.
kinda like Parks and Rec, 'cause Parks and Rec had the same problem.
Yeah.
First season or even the first 2 seasons almost were like, "This is just feels like The Office." So then, the showrunner had to, like, pivot,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it became what it was, which was its own thing.
Right.
And then even The Office, like, the first season wasn't that good, and it's like
Mhm.
5 episodes. I was like, I tell people to skip it
Mhm.
because some people start with the first season and they're like, I can't get into it. I was
Yeah.
like, "Don't worry about that, just skip it."
Mhm.
You get to where, Michael Scott has his hair back and he's not thinning anymore, just full head of hair, skip to that part, and then
Which is
just
what
watch
we all need
onward.
to do for the Super Bowl in case they don't have if the Chiefs don't win, we're skipping it. We're skipping the Super
Mhm.
Bowl. We're
If
gonna
Taylor
boycott
Swift's
it.
there, I'm skipping it. If there's a Super Bowl, I'm gonna skip it. I really don't care, but, I may look like I'm in Shannon Sharp's office, but I'm not Shannon Sharp. I
All
mean,
right. Well, we're
so,
out of time
yeah,
today. This was a good conversation.
I
Thank
think
you
so.
again to Golden Stag Media for having us. This was amazing. Thank you guys for everyone who helped and
I really
Caleb.
hope we gave y'all stuff you can use.
Oh yeah.
I hope I didn't say anything too inappropriate, but, sometimes I have that problem, but,
I'm offended on multiple levels.
mhm. I think I did okay this time. But
Sure.
we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you. Thorough podcast out.
Bye.